Shall I straighten them out again, sir? Asked Josie.
Don't talk such drivel, said Mr. Murray.
Josie walked over to the railings and in front of the whole school, in front of the fire officer, she gently put the railings back as they were. That evening, Josie was having tea with Mum, Dad and big brother Louis. She hadn't told anyone about what had happened at school. She had a small feeling that no one would believe her. Even Mrs. Jones, her teacher, had told the whole class that it was just a trick that Billy Brand and Josie had thought up between them. Billy Brand had had to stand all afternoon outside Mr. Murray's door. Josie had had to write 100 times, "I won't do any more tricks."
"You're very quiet, my love," said Dad. "Everything all right?"
"Yes," Josie mumbled. She thought there was a chance her dad might understand about the school railing. He often told her that magic is all around us, except people don't want to see it. But as for Louis, who was 12 and clever, best to keep quiet. After tea and telly, Josie went to her bedroom. She just had to see if she could still do her trick. She picked up her bedroom chair. It was as light as a pencil. She was just balancing it at the end of her finger when Louis walked in. "Josie, what are you doing?" he laughed. "Trying to be the strongest girl in the world? Come on, put the chair down before you hurt yourself." Josie put the chair down gracefully and with no trouble at all. "You do it, Louis," she said. Louis picked up the chair. It was much heavier than he thought. There was no way he could balance it on one finger. Then he nearly dropped it. Finally, he banged it down heavily on the floor. He was not going to let his baby sister show him up. He went over to Josie and patted her on the head. "Time for bed." For once, Josie was not cross with Louis. She knew her trick hadn't gone away. The next morning, Josie was up and downstairs before Louis. Her dad was eating his breakfast. "Well, Josie, my love, off to watch the cartoons?" "No, Dad," said Josie. "I want to help you at work today." Josie loved where her dad worked. He owned a small garage where he mended old cars. She would always take him his lunch on a Saturday, and he would push his tools off the bench so that his little princess could sit next to him and not get dirty. But she had never before gone to work with him. That was Louis's job. "All right," said Dad. "You can answer the phone and make us coffee." It was not quite what Josie had in mind, but it would have to do. She waited all morning until her chance came. "I'm just popping out for a minute with Louis. Answer the phone if it rings and don't touch anything." Josie went over to the car her dad had been working on. This was what she had been waiting for. She put her tiny arm out and held onto the bumper of the car. Then she lifted. Yes! Yes, she could do it! The car was no heavier than her school rucksack. With a bit of careful handling, she could balance it on the palm of her hand. That was how Dad and Louis found her. This skinny little girl in a dress, holding up a Ford Cortina. "Don't move!" screamed Dad. "Louis, call 999 and get the fire brigade fast!" Josie carefully put the car down. "Don't call them," she said. "They don't like my tricks." The rest of the day, Dad and Louis tested Josie's so-called trick. There was no doubt about it. This little girl was amazingly strong. "You're all very quiet tonight," said Mum as they ate their tea. Dad cleared his throat. "Joan," he said, "there's something we've got to tell you." "Oh, Josie," said Mum, "you didn't fiddle with anything in the garage." "No,"
said Dad. "Nothing like that. It's just... well, Josie is probably the strongest little girl in the world." Her mum burst out laughing until tears rolled down her face. "Oh, Ron, you say some daft things." Dad gave Josie a wink, and she lifted the tea table up as though it were a book and swirled it around on her finger. Mum sat back in her chair, as white as a newly washed sheet. "That's nothing," said Louis with pride. "My little sister can lift a car that would need a crane and—" "Hold on a minute," said Mum. "Are you telling me that our little girl, who is small for her age and skinny to boot, who looks as if a gust of wind could blow her away, can lift a car?" "Yes," said Josie. Then she told her mum about the school railings. "Well, what do we do?" said Mum. "I mean, who would believe it?" "We do and say nothing," said Dad. "We keep it to ourselves for the time being." "You don't think she should see a doctor?" said Mum. "Oh, Mum," said Louis, "Josie's fine. She's just amazingly strong." "Well, Josie," said Mum, "you're still my little girl, strong or not." And she gave her a big hug. Josie was not looking forward to Monday morning. In class assembly, Mr. Murray, the head teacher, gave a talk on the wrongs of showing off and playing silly tricks in the playground. Even her teacher, Mrs. Jones, still seemed to be cross with her. Worst of all, she was now the butt of all the jokes. "How does it feel to be a hairy, strong girl? Hey, here comes Superman's sidekick." It went on like this all day. Only Billy Brand stood up for her. "That's it," thought Josie. "Dad's right. Best to keep this trick to herself." Never had Josie been more pleased to hear the home bell ring. There was her mum waiting for her. "Ready for tea, love?" said Mum. "Not half," said Josie. "It's been a really bad day." They walked out of the school playground towards the main road. That's when it happened. That's when nothing would be quite the same again. A van came charging out of control down the hill towards the zebra crossing, towards Josie and her mum and all her chums. The driver was running behind it, shouting as loud as he could. Nothing was going to stop it. Josie had that whizzing feeling in her arms, and without another thought, she ran into the road, putting her skinny arm at the ready to stop the van. It was no heavier than catching a football, and a lot easier on account of its size. The van stopped in its tracks, no damage done. There was a moment of stunned silence while the crowd took in what had happened. Then, chaos. Mums and dads fainted, the lollipop lady went dizzy, and the owner of the van couldn't believe what he had seen. When the police and the ambulance arrived, they thought there must have been an awful accident. There were bodies lying all over the place. The lollipop lady was mumbling something about a little girl. The van driver was sitting on the pavement saying it must be magic. The poor policeman in charge didn't know what to think. And there, standing in the middle of the road, was a little girl holding on to a van. "Are you all right?" said the policeman. "Oh, fine," said Josie. "But I can't let go because it could start to roll again." "They're all mad," thought the policeman. He said, "It would be a good idea if you got out of the road and left that van alone." Josie did as she was told. "Now," said the policeman, taking a notepad from his jacket, "can anyone tell me what happened?" But before the policeman could write a line, the van started to roll away again. Josie ran back into the road and stopped it for the second time.